What's going on, everyone? So, myself and many of you are very excited for the upcoming Scary Movie 6. The Wayans brothers are back. Looks like Regina Hall and Anna Faris are expected to return. Regina Hall even recently spoke on it. Still in negotiations, but I imagine that they'll be back. I imagine that they're going to get them back. And just such a well of horror franchises and films and little things that they can tap into to kind of give us a new scary movie, right? I still stand by that the first two scary movies, especially that first one, were absolute classics. I thought they all were kind of okay in their own way, right? Part three I thought was good. I thought each one kind of got a little worse, but the Wayans brothers, those two I thought were just great classics to this day. I could watch those on repeat. And it's nice that they're brought back. They were able to kind of work out that situation and now are getting ready to set to release a new scary movie film. Now, Ghostface is the one that is expected to be back. There's rumors on kind of like, Art the Clown from Terrifier and these various franchises. We'll see in that regard how they go about it. But one of the big things that I am concerned with is, can Scary Movie 6 properly exist in today's sort of climate, right? Now, cancel culture is not what it was even, a couple years ago or a year ago, right? People are kind of, in general, kind of like, just like, hey, give us good films, right? But there is that loud group in the back that people are going to complain. People are going to have their opinions. People are going to find reasons to hate on something or call something out or whatever. Just do it, right? To me, it's just the general audience, and that loud noise isn't as big as it once was, right? There was a point in time where that group was the loudest group in the room, right? Now people are kind of like, all right, we're good. Like, okay, we get it. Calm it down, right? Calm it down, right? But still, it's like, where's the line now compared to what it was? Now, there's always should be a line to an extent, but if we're being honest, Scary Movie was funny in a sort of raunchy way, especially for those times, right? Most of the jokes are crude jokes, they're sexual jokes, they're jokes that, can get away with these type of things today, right? And it's something just in comedy, period. You don't really see a lot of comedies anymore because studios don't really want to take the risk or take the chance on offending or upsetting or having the uproar one way or another, right? Like, we used to get iconic, like, great comedies, like, once a year minimum, sometimes multiple in a year. I mean, I'm talking about, scary movies, even things like Tropic Thunder. Could you imagine trying to make a Tropic Thunder in today's world? Oh my God, right? Like, they wouldn't even be, like, they would make the announcement and people would be like with their pitchforks. Like, it would be insane, right? But you think of things like even like Wedding Crashers or, these just the Hangover. There we go. That's what I was trying to get to. Hangover films, right? Like, these films, these iconic, like, classic comedy films, and even like the teen comedy, like Not Another Teen Movie and some of these things, right? They were hilarious, right? But were they a little crude? Did they kind of cross the line on occasion? Sure. But it was in good fun. It was in the sake of humor. Now, comedy has kind of came back in that regard, particularly with comedians, right? People have kind of, like, comedians you're seeing are kind of, jumping back into the waters a little more than they might have a couple years ago, where there was just this period where everyone was kind of on eggshells in that regard. And then now, like, comedy has kind of been the thing where it's like, that's the one outlet where it's okay, right? Will the studio, though, greenlight it? Like, I believe the Wayans brothers, I believe, Sean and Marlon Wayans, and I think they'll be the guys that are willing to write it and make it funny, right? Even things like White Chicks and stuff like that, right? With like they were crude, humorous jokes. They were funny, right? Like, can you get away with that stuff in today's world? That's the question, right? And I hope so. My hope is they just make the movie and who cares, right? People want to cry and people want to complain, then cry and complain. Don't watch it. Right? Like, that's always been my thing. Like, I will never understand, like, even as a content creator, I get comments all the time, people that are like, you're the worst YouTuber, you're this, you're that, but you still watch it. You're here every time. Like, if you don't like me, fine. That's fine. You have that right. No one's forcing you to watch something. Like, I just don't understand the crying and complaining about everything, right? Like, you just have these groups of people that are just like, oh, wait, I don't like this, so I'm just gonna, tell everybody I don't like. Like, who cares? Right? If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you think it's inappropriate, that's fine. No one's forcing you to watch it. Don't go watch. Don't tell your friends. Don't tell anybody, right? Like, it's not for you. It wasn't made for you. Right? That's my hope, is that Scary Movie 6, you need that movie that breaks the mold, right? Like, no one wants to take risks. And this is just Hollywood, period, right now, right? Like, it's just a lot of repetitiveness. It's a lot of just like bad, like every movie is just doing terrible and flopping, and they're all $100 million projects that are just doing awful, right? Because no one like, Hollywood is a copycat league, right? And we see time and time again, like when one thing has success, everything just kind of shifts that way, right? You saw like Disney and all these other, big corporations that did all these film stuff. They all like, okay, the trend is now this. Okay, the trend is now this. The trend is now this. And they just kind of follow where the trend is, whatever that trend is, right? You need somebody to come in and break that and create the new trend. Right? Like, that's been one of the biggest problems. Is like, where are the good comedic films? Right? Where are the movies that are just like hilarious? Like, start to finish, you're just like sitting there, just turn your brain off and just get a good laugh. Like, what happened to that? Right? No one wants to take that risk. No studio wants that backlash. But somebody at some point is going to have to make that. And I think if Scary Movie 6 is the one that makes that, I think we'll get back to having more of those films. And again, even people watching this video, there might be a lot of you that are like, I don't want that. That's not my cup of tea. That's fine. Again, don't watch it, right? Like, that's my thing. I loved it. Like, Scary Movie is a classic. Dude, that was that film is just layered in inappropriateness, right? Like, every other line, every other word in that movie is like inappropriate. But it was funny. It was for the sake of humor. It was comedic, right? It wasn't there to hurt anybody, right? Like, I don't want any, like, there's a line for everything. There's some things that are just, it's in poor taste, of course, but have fun, right? Like, it's just, I hope that Scary Movie 6 is a film that is able to maybe break that mold. Because if they try to do that like Disney humor now, right? Like, I just don't think it's going to work. I just think you're going to have like another film where people are like, see, like, comedy can't exist in today's ecosystem anymore, right? And I just don't want to see that. I want this to have success. So maybe we get some more good quality comedy films and get some jokes and stuff like that. Again, for somebody that doesn't like the crudeness or the humor or the raunchiness or whatever, then fine. There are plenty of artsy, classic, classy comedies. Go watch those, right? But I want to see a modern scary movie, right? I want the jokes. I want the comedy. I want give those to me, right? Like, that's just me. And as always, I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? I feel what are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. Do you think like, just, it won't work in today's time? Do you think like, no, it can work in today's time? Do you think like, you won't know until you try? Do you want to see them kind of try to be the first one to break that mold, break that kind of just current climate that we're in? Again, however you feel, either way, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos. I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel. What are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.